Why are there so many second and third generation Latinos who don't speak Spanish fluently? Puerto Ricans specifically. Let's talk about it. I'll go first. Do you speak Spanish is probably one of the questions that has caused me the most anxiety and heartache in my life because the answer is complicated. My mother is Puerto Rican by way of the Bronx. She's a New Yorican, and her mother, my abuela, came from Puerto Rico in the 1950s. My mom saw discrimination against my grandmother for her accent.
But at school, it was difficult because even though I was in a bilingual classroom, I still needed help with my English homework. So my mom couldn't help me. So I walked around with a dictionary constantly trying to, learn the words. And I would read like a book a day.
Fast forward to when I was born in the 80s. My father is an African-American man who speaks only English.
So when you were born, I just used English because your father didn't speak Spanish. But I did want a Spanish-speaking family to take care of you.
Then a Spanish-speaking Puerto Rican family took care of me all day while my mom worked since I was 3 weeks old. But as I moved from baby to pre-K, someone warned my mom that I would be confused if she spoke English and Spanish to me, and it would negatively affect me in school.
Right. Before I became a bilingual teacher, somebody was like, oh, well, they get confused if you do 2 languages. And because of my experience, I decided, well, I just want to speak English to her, so her grammar and everything will be, standard English.
Today, we know that's not true. In fact, being bilingual is an asset. But many parents at the time believed that English fluency would protect their kids from discrimination in schools and in jobs. But there was this strange phenomenon where I instinctively understood what my mom and Spanish-speaking family members were saying to me in Spanish, even though I would always reply in English. It was just in me. It was understanding what they meant, but not always knowing how to repeat things back. There's a term for this, and it's called receptive bilingualism. And that's where you understand a language more than you can actually speak it. It is the most frustrating thing, hearing something that's clearly in your brain, but you're not able to fully explain it on your tongue. I have memories of sitting in living rooms where everyone is talking Spanish and I'm not able to participate. The other thing is when I spoke the little Spanish that I knew, my accent wasn't horrible. It was passable enough that people thought I could communicate better than I actually could. Then they started speaking really fast. And all of this was only further complicated by being Black. You're already invisible to some people. They're just not seeing you as Latina. Exception is Dominican Republic, because when I was in DR, everybody thought I was Dominican. And then if you try to speak Spanish and it sounds good, oh my God.
Señor, señor, un pregunta. You Pero ¿cómo?
My story is not unique at all. Language loss isn't about laziness. It's about history, migration, and sometimes just survival. After the U.S. took control of Puerto Rico following the Spanish-American War, there was this era of Americanization where English instruction was really pushed in schools and people were punished for speaking Spanish. And a lot of Puerto Ricans were not having it. They resisted and Spanish remained dominant. Puerto Ricans have been U.S. citizens since 1917 under the Jones Act, which made migration between the island and the quote-unquote mainland easier. So as people from the Puerto Rican diaspora integrate into new communities, without this intentional reinforcement of the Spanish language, it fades across generations. Today, there are about 1 in 4 Latinos in the U.S. who are not fluent. So what about today? It's not too late to learn, right? Just pick up Duolingo. Trying to learn Spanish as a Puerto Rican carries an emotional weight that isn't as simple as learning a new language on an app.
Because that Caribbean Spanish that Puerto Ricans speak is not the same as Spaniard Spanish.
The fear of making mistakes and the shame that can be put on you or that you can feel because you feel like you should already know can absolutely get in the way. And listen, old habits die hard. Even when I tell my mom to speak to me in Spanish, we default to English because that's what's comfortable and also because my dad is there. Unless, of course, we're talking about him and then, we're talking in Spanish. But I honestly have a lot more peace about my journey with Spanish. Now that I'm a mother, I understand that my mom did the best that she could with what she could at that time. And I have a growth mindset, not a fixed one. Looking at my own son, I see that he is essentially a sponge. He absorbs new information. And it's like a muscle. You have to work it out in order to get stronger. So if you're one of the many Boricuas or Latinos who carries language shame, this is my love letter to you. Sigue practicando. Honor your journey. It is not too late to reconnect with your culture.
Me llamo Natasha Sonia Alford. No hablo español con fluidez, pero estoy orgullosa de mi cultura y seguiré aprendiendo.